We are diving into a little bit of a reset today, and I'm changing up the ways that I am doing these on my channel and going to be kind of consistent throughout the year. We are really going to be focusing on achieving yearly goals. So I set yearly goals with you back in December, and I'm walking you guys through exactly how I'm going to achieve those goals this year. And little disclaimer, this is the video for the person that really wanted to hit the ground running in January and didn't do that because I was not perfect in January. I was far from it and ended up being not the most productive month in the world like I wanted it to be. Basically, I did not achieve some of the things that I wanted to achieve, and I feel like I could have done better in so many different ways. And if you feel the same way, then this is definitely the video for you, because I'm hoping to kind of figure out what I did wrong, figure out how I can course correct, look at some of the specific daily habits that I didn't achieve the way that I wanted to, look at some of the monthly habits I didn't achieve the way that I wanted to, and figure out exactly how to make those happen in February, and use you guys for a little bit of accountability. And I welcome you to use me as a little bit of an accountability partner as well, so that we can actually achieve our dreams in 2024. All of that being said, I want to go ahead and just dive into looking at my daily habits in January. So if you have not watched my Notion video, I set all of this up for my Notion this year, and I'm really happy with the way that it has come together and how functional it is. Essentially, I can put any habit that I want, and it can be a check mark, it can be a numerical habit like steps. I can put the number of steps that I get, I could put the number of pages that I read, I can put that I did read or I did not read, or that I worked out. All of those things I can put into this hub. The Notion template is linked down below if you guys are interested in it. I find it super helpful and I love it. Looking at the month, first and foremost, I read so much this month. I read so much. You can see here, the only goal that I really achieved consistently was reading. And the reason for that is largely because my husband does snow removal, and that is kind of one of the reasons that this month was really thrown off for me, which of course I am just using that as an excuse. But our schedule was just completely thrown off, and he was working such weird hours. Like, there were some days where he was going to bed at 6 o'clock, and then I would also go to bed at 6 o'clock, and instead of waking up super early, I would just read from like 6 until 10 and then just wake up like I normally do. So my whole schedule was just completely thrown off. Posting on short form content, my goal was to do twice a week. I did that consistently at the beginning of the month, and then I fell off again. If you've been around for a while, you know that posting short form content is something that I have been struggling with so much. So I'm going to be changing kind of how I'm motivating myself to do that and the goal that I set for that this month, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Post on Lemonade. I wasn't trying to post every single day on Lemonade, so I actually am kind of happy with how much I did post. I did also gain so many followers. I think I went from 6,000 followers to over 10,000 followers, so I'm super proud of just the content I've been putting out over there, how things have been performing, the little community I've been building over there. It's been great. And then working out, I had a goal to work out throughout the entire year. I want to work out 4 to 5 days per week. And there was one week that I did only work out 3, so that is unfortunate, but I'm like happy with how much I worked out. My steps, on the other hand, were atrocious this month. There was literally one day I took 835 steps. That's not okay. It's not okay. I would love for my average here to be a little closer to 8,000. It's sitting at about 5,600. I'd love that to be closer to 8,000 next month. So those are the things that I tracked every day. I do think I want to change up some of these a little bit, because with me not posting every day on Lemonade and for short form, I just don't really like having that on my daily tracking. So I think I'm gonna change that to a calendar view. Otherwise, I will be keeping my steps, my workouts, and reading on there. And I feel like there's some other things I could track as well, so I'm kind of trying to brainstorm what I do want to consistently track throughout the year. But those are the things that are gonna be on there for right now. And let's go ahead and actually, okay, this next thing, my weekly habits. These I did atrociously. So first of all, this originally did say post 2 YouTube videos per week. I'm actually going to be changing my YouTube posting schedule. I am going to be dropping down to a mandatory once a week, with the occasional additional videos for you guys. And the reason that I'm doing that is just because I want to be able to put out higher quality videos for you guys, and also to post more valuable content on other platforms. So with YouTube, it takes so much effort and so much time to put a YouTube video together, and with Lemonade and with short form content, I just feel like I'm able to put so much more helpful information out into the world. I can post more often, I can provide more value for you guys if I'm posting more on other platforms. I will always love YouTube, it is my baby, and I might try this out and decide that I would like to go back to posting more than once a week. We will see, but for right now, I am going to be posting once a week and pouring a little bit more into those other platforms. So hopefully that will go well. So we're changing this to post once per week. If you guys hate that idea and you would rather that I post kind of just more like catching up and like chatting, like FaceTimey type vlogs and that kind of thing, and that's what you prefer and that's what you would like me to put out, and not focus as much on like higher quality videos and providing a lot of value for you guys, if like I'm just kind of like your little internet BFF and you just want to hang out with me, let me know and I can go back to kind of creating that kind of content. But unless I hear otherwise, I will be only posting once a week. And then my researching brands, I did this once, and I created a list of brands that I would like to reach out to work with on Lemonade. And I didn't reach out to them, and I never did any more research. So one of my goals for this month is going to be to reach out to those specific brands and see if there's some kind of partnership that we could put together on Lemonade or whatever platform. Okay, so diving down into my January actual goals. So those were kind of my stats that I'm tracking, and now I'm looking at kind of the specific goals that I have to support my yearly goals. And those were follow a lifting program 4 to 5 days per week. Again, I did miss 1 week, so we're saying that I didn't do that, but I am happy with how it went, and I think that I can continue doing that. And then get 1 video ahead on YouTube. I didn't do this. I did, and then I lost my aheadness. So hopefully with only posting once per week, I can actually make that happen. And then film 2 short form videos per week. We already talked about that. Save $500. We actually saved $1,500. So I'm very, very happy with our savings for January. We exceeded it because gotta pay for that house somehow. And then leave a voice message for a friend. I didn't do this, but I do have a call scheduled with a friend today, which she actually set up. So I feel like I've been doing better at communicating with my current friends, so I am happy with that. I just didn't leave a voice message. Spend time with my mom. I did do that. We went thrifting at the beginning of the month. That was her Christmas present to my sister and I, was to go thrifting. I actually got this sweater thrifting. It's very cozy. And then try something new with Brandon. I did try something new with Brandon. I'm not gonna tell you guys what it was, but it was fun. So we'll leave it at that. And then read 4 books or 1,200 pages. Let's go take a look at my reading list here. So I did read 4 books, and I actually ended up reading 16, almost 1,700 pages. So again, it was a really good reading month. At the end of this video, I am gonna go ahead and talk through the books that I read, and then also go over some favorites of the month with you guys, just for people who are interested in that kind of thing. I do just want to talk through my February goals now, but I want to have my 2024 goals in mind as I'm creating and thinking through these February goals. So I did already create a list of goals, but I want to kind of go over why I'm setting those goals, how those relate to my yearly goals, because that's really my focus for this year with monthly goal planning, is to focus on the big picture of 2024 and where I want to be at the end of that. So looking at these goals, my first yearly goal is to build a balanced fitness routine focused on overall health and longevity. With that, I do want to lift 4 to 5 times per week and also incorporate more cardio flexibility and all of that kind of thing. So my first goal is to average 8,000 steps per day. I really feel like my lifting routine is just kind of solid. I don't really feel like I need to set monthly goals around that, but I really want to focus on just kind of moving more throughout February to kind of have a little bit more of a balanced fitness routine. So we're focusing on 8,000 steps, and then moving on to building a sustainable business. This one is like so hard to like come up with concrete things, because if you guys do social media, you know that there's so many different ways that you can do it. There's so many different avenues. There's so many, like, it's hard to know what to focus on, but I really want to focus on building my Instagram a little bit more this month, while also still focusing on YouTube, putting out 1 video per week, and then also focusing on Lemonade. But I want my like kind of stretch to be focusing on Instagram, and I have gained 25 followers, which I know 25 sounds like nothing, but my growth has been completely stagnant on Instagram because I haven't been putting in the effort. And then along the lines of business, I also want to reach out to the list of brands that I said that I put together for working on Lemonade and just shoot them some emails, shoot them some DMs, see if we can kind of make some contact there. And then I also have Save Our $500. And then also along the lines of the business, but this also weirdly ties into building better relationships, which is one of my goals, which I did actually switch up. This goal originally was to stay in contact with the friends that I already have in my life, which is something that I want to continue to pour into and try to do. But I really want to make some friends in this area. All of my friends are scattered all over the country, and I just really would like to have some friends in this area. And one of the things that is motivating me so much to do that is this picture on my vision board. Like, literally, this is motivating me. I want to be able to have a picnic by the end of the summer with some girlfriends. So I'm going to try and build better relationships. I need to build relationships in the town that I live in. With that, I did create a challenge on Lemonade, and I want to do that challenge on short form content. So posting that on Instagram, maybe on TikTok, I'm not sure. But in order to do that, I need a lapel mic, and I just need to order the lapel mic. Going into next month, that's going into the budget. We're ordering a lapel mic, and I'm gonna do it. Which goes along with the next goal, is to start the friendship challenge. I'm not doing it in 15 days because that sounds very overwhelming, but I'm gonna try to make some friends in February, and I'll take you guys along for it, and hopefully it goes well. And then lastly, to read 4 books or 1,200 pages. That goal will consistently be going through the rest of the year, unless I get really, really ahead, and then I don't need to read that many in a month. So those are my goals. That is how I'm setting myself up for success going into February, and I'm using you guys as an accountability partner. I want to have everything checked off of this list when we talk next about these goals. I'm committing to it right now. I am going to do my absolute best to actually follow through this month, because my follow through has not been there recently. We're going to make it happen. But before I end this video, I am going to share my favorites and my reading with you for the month, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so my favorites for the month are this shampoo and conditioner. I am definitely a drugstore girly when it comes to pretty much everything. I buy most of my stuff at Meijer. I have honestly never really found a shampoo or conditioner that like I notice a difference with. Like, there's some that I've like noticed like that is absolutely not good for my hair. It makes it greasy or it makes it really dry. These, I specifically notice a really big difference with my hair. It makes it so shiny and just nice. I would show you guys right now, but my hair is gross because I haven't washed it in several days. But I love this stuff. Also from that same brand is this dry shampoo, the Argan Oil and Morocco. This is the only dry shampoo that I have ever found that I actually like. I like the way it smells. I like the way it looks in my hair. I like what it does to my hair. It doesn't leave a really bad white cast. It is a little bit white, so if you have really, really dark hair, maybe it's not the best for you, but I honestly really, really do enjoy this. And it's been really good with me working at the gym, because obviously I'm working at a gym, which means I can get my workout in and then go straight to work. But I don't really want to have to shower in between that, which, I don't know, maybe that's gross or whatever. And then I want to share a game that I have been loving. It's called Pal World. And it's basically like Pokemon, like open world. You can like collect a bunch of like little Pokemon pets, and they like will work on your base with you. And it's just really, really fun. I've only played it for like a day or two, but the day that I got it, I spent like the entire day playing this game. It's so much fun, it's so relaxing, and it is multiplayer, so if you're looking for a game to like play with your friends or maybe like your spouse or significant other, seriously a good game. If your significant other is into playing games and you don't generally like to play them with them, this would be a really great one for you to play with your significant other, because I think it kind of appeals to like multiple different audiences. And then a YouTube channel I've really been enjoying is Makeup by Nikki LaRose. I am trying to make 2024 the year that I learn how to do makeup. I am literally 28 years old and I don't know how to do makeup at all, but I watched a few of her like guides for like non-makeup wears, specifically the Ultimate Guide to Non-Makeup Wears Drugstore Edition. She gave really great recommendations. She's like a professional makeup artist, so she like really walked you through super simply like how to get makeup to sit on your skin really well. So I've been loving those videos. I'll have her linked down below in that specific video as well if you, like me, want to just learn a little bit more about how to do makeup correctly and where things are supposed to go and how you should apply them and like what brush you should use and all of that kind of thing. I also picked up some new thongs on Amazon. If you're a gross man, go away right now. This is for the girls, but these are what they look like and I am like kind of obsessed with them. I have been like trying to embrace thongs. I've never really been much of a thong girly, but with me like wearing leggings more often and just trying not to have the like annoying lines. If you are okay with the panty lines, that's okay. It's totally fine. Obviously we wear underwear. It's okay for people to know that you're wearing underwear. But I just have been wanting some thongs. So I ordered these on Amazon. I love them. I will say size down because I normally am either a large or a medium in bottoms. I got these in a medium. And they're like really, really high-waisted. Like, let me see if I can show you. So like they kind of naturally sit right here and I'm wearing leggings that are fairly high-waisted already and they're like coming up almost to my belly button. Like honestly, if I have them like kind of where they naturally sit, it's up to my belly button. So like maybe size down a little bit. Those are my favorites for the month. Now let's go ahead and go into a little bit of a reading recap. I'm gonna try not to be too long-winded on these. If I do end up being like too excessively long-winded, I will probably just start making my reading wrap-ups a separate video and that would probably be like an extra video for you guys. So like I would post 2 videos on the week that I posted that just because, I don't know. I know not everyone cares about the reading content, but I do. So going into what I read Fourth Wing, and if you know anything about books, you know that Fourth Wing has been like going around. Like everyone is obsessed with Fourth Wing. Reading the reviews on like Amazon and Goodreads, like everyone is obsessed with this book. I read it and I didn't like it. Like I did not like it. I gave it 3 stars, but like literally this entire month I've been like thinking I should have given it 2 stars. It was not good. So it's a fantasy book. It's about a girl named, I don't even remember what her name was. I think her name's Ivy. Is that right? I don't remember. See, I don't even remember what her name was. It's about a girl that her mom is like a general in like a fantasy world army and there's like different sectors you can go into and she ends up going into the dragon riding one and you basically go to this school and you have to go through this process and eventually a dragon can either choose you or like kill you or like not choose you, but then you have to come back next year and then you'll probably die. It's like a school. Like you go to a school, there's dragons, whatever. And the world building in this book was not it for me. I just felt like they talked like they were in like modern times, just in high school. Like it mentioned like biology class and like playgrounds and there was plumbing, but it seemed to be set more like in kind of like a traditional fantasy world, like kind of like Lord of the Rings. It was like set in that type of world, but there was like a lot of like modern dialogue and like modern references. And I couldn't like conceptualize the world very well because of that. And then the pacing was bad. Like it was like so slow at the beginning and then like a bunch of stuff happened at the end and it was so repetitive. Like there were some conversations that happened far too many times between people. Like the characters, it's like, I get it. I understand what you think of this situation. Stop having this conversation. Was not a fan. I will say the last 20% of the book was interesting enough to make me want to read the second book. So I think that's kind of why I gave it 3 stars. So I will be reading the second book, but overall it was not good. Okay, it just wasn't. And it was long and whatever. And then Practice Makes Perfect was just a cute little book that I kind of picked up because I needed something to read between holds. It's about a bodyguard that works for like this like famous lady that lives in a really small town that's very Stars Hollow-esque. And the famous lady that he works for has a sister-in-law that owns a flower shop in the small town, and it's essentially their like love story. This book honestly surprised me and I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to, so I did give it 4 stars. It was just very cute, and like the Stars Hollow-esque town was just super cute. Like everyone in the town was like super invested in their relationship, and at one point there was like a petition to get them to break up, kind of like in Stars Hollow, and it was just really cute. And I feel like there were so many moments where I was like, oh god, this is like an annoying trope, and like I'm just annoyed right now because these people aren't being self-aware. And then like I would read a little bit more and the character would just like be self-aware and like realize that they were kind of messing up and like realize their mistakes before they took them too far. So I liked that. And like the main character, Will, the guy in the book, he was really working through like the emotions of like trusting in relationships, and that normally annoys the crap out of me because I'm like, oh my god, just like stop using your past as a reason to not be in a relationship or to be a crappy partner. And I think that by the end of the book, he like had grown and like realized that, and it was just, he was very self-aware, and I like that. Then I read Magnolia Parks, and I hated every single character in this book. Seriously, I hated everyone, but I ended up giving it 4 stars because the writing was just so well done. I just feel like if you have ever been in love with someone that is like extremely bad for you and kind of toxic, and you just keep going back to them over and over again, or even if you've had friends that have gone through that and you've been like kind of a close observer of that situation, I feel like the writing in this just makes you understand why people keep going back to relationships that just seem so completely wrong for them. So I don't know, I just loved it. The world building was really, really well. It is set in England. The characters just seem like they could actually exist in our world, which I really like books like that. I was a fan. I will be reading the rest of that series. I actually have, there's a new release coming out of kind of the wrap up of the characters in this book, like their relationship, it wraps up their relationship. So I will be reading that. There is another book that is based on their relationship in between those, so I need to like read the rest of the series before I read that one, but I do have a hold on that one right now. And then I read Divine Rivals. I haven't actually written down a review for this yet, so I'm like pulling this out of my brain because I just finished it. I loved this book. It is a fantasy book that is set in a world where there's a war going on between 2 gods, but it's like very like 1940s, World War II, like that's kind of the vibe of the world. And it's about a girl that is writing for a newspaper with this guy, they're like rivals, and then she goes off to be a war correspondent, and I was like obsessed with her being a war correspondent and like her like on the front lines, and it was just so well written, and I just like could not put it down. I was obsessed with it. I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. It wasn't quite a 5-star read for me just because it didn't feel like a 5-star read, but I was obsessed with it. The way the 2 characters like fall in love is just so great, and like it's one of those books where you're like really rooting for them. And there were just a lot of like, I don't know, like good messaging in the book. So one of the quotes I have saved is, "Even when the world seems to stop, threatening to crumble, and the hour feels dark as the siren rings, it isn't a crime to feel joy." And I feel like that was one of the main themes in the book, was even when things are really awful and you like the world is crumbling or your world is crumbling, like you're still allowed to feel joy. And I just feel like really connected to that messaging, because when you're going through like hard times, or even when like the world seems to be falling apart, it's still okay to be joyful. And I don't know, I just feel like that's a good message. That is my reading wrap up. That was probably way too long, but those are the books that I read. I think that is the end of my monthly reset. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you like this style. Let me know if it was helpful. Let me know ways that I can make it more helpful. I hope that January was a really good month for you, and if it wasn't, like it wasn't necessarily for me, I do hope that you know that it's only the beginning of the year and you can restart anytime. You can continue to show up every single day, even if you didn't show up the best yesterday. Every day is a new day. Every hour is a new hour. And you can make your goals happen whenever you want. So I hope that you learn that. And I hope February is a really good month for you guys. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one.